So why does AI really matter to us? AI is powerful. It helps us with strategic analysis, customer intelligence, with communications, spotting, fixing our mistakes, improving our work quality, and, for example, with risk detection in contracts. Now, AI is fundamental. One of the questions that very often people ask me when I'm talking about AI fluency is, Mauri, will AI steal our jobs? My point is that AI is likely not, at least not for now, guys. But humans who use AI better than us, well, those guys, yes, they are a risk. Why? Because those tools, take Copilot, for example, they are developing and releasing memory capabilities. What does that mean? It means that you're training today something that tomorrow will know you better, will give you better answers that better suit your needs. Why? Because they know you better. Therefore, we're training today our AI assets of tomorrow. And you don't want to be the one who comes tomorrow realizing that every other colleague has been training an AI for the last 2 or 3 years and you haven't, because then it might be too late. Therefore, it becomes urgent. Now, if we look at the adoption, the first 2 years of AI versus internet, for example, taking GPT as a proxy, it is impressive that in the United States, internet has half of the adoption rate of ChatGPT. Of course, I understand the penetration of mobile was completely different at the time, but check the acceleration. ChatGPT hit 1 billion daily searches 9 years faster than Google. And if you look at the investment in 2023, the first year in which we started playing with these tools, they are massive. We're talking billions. Last but not least, there is one more thing that makes AI relevant to all of us people who work in business, in corporates. Do you guys know how we measure the adoption rate of a technology when we talk about startup? Well, the way we do it, we use a KPI, and this is how long it took to get to 1 million active users. Do you guys remember how long it took Facebook to get 1 million users? Dropbox, Spotify, Instagram? Well, if you check, we're talking about months. And yes, there has been a trend, but have you noticed, do you remember how long it took ChatGPT to get to 1 million users? Well, we're talking about a couple of days. Now, do you know what GPT stands for? Like, by the way, generative pre-trained transformer. Therefore, please guys, it is not ChatGPT. I can't bear with that anymore. Stop, it's 2025, guys. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. Pre-trained transformer. I'm joking, but let's cut it properly. AI is part of our lives. But I have to admit that even though ChatGPT looks like a tsunami wave that conquered all of us personally, and we do some shadowing AI use in corporates because they don't let us use GPT so professionally. But ChatGPT, even though it is such a big wave that conquered the world, there is a wall, there is a barrier that it can't overtake. Which one is it? Anything that comes to your mind? Data privacy. In fact, it is banned. But most of the large corporates, when I come in and out large corporates giving talks about AI fluency, and I can guarantee that 100% of my clients, for example, have prohibited the use of ChatGPT. There is no way. You can't use it. Why? Because it's not safe. This is why Microsoft steps in with a brilliant move, embrace this barrier for corporates, taking ChatGPT, dressing it up with a nice suit, making it safe, calling it Copilot. Hours. Copilot is part of our Office suite and it is protected. This little green flag makes a huge difference. It's protected, it's safe. We can upload sensitive data and we're safe. If you think about it, you're working in a corporate, where do you store your data? On SharePoint. How do you chat with your colleagues? On Microsoft Teams. How do you send emails? Through Microsoft Outlook. And how are your sensitive presentations? In PowerPoint. And your data on Excel. It is Microsoft that has been handling our data safely and diligently for many, many years now. So we already shaked our hands for these signing this trust deal. So we decided we trust Microsoft. Therefore, we can trust Copilot. It comes integrated in our applications. And let me tell you that it goes beyond our applications because it truly is reinventing the way we interact with technology.
Hey, Copilot. What mic is she using in this video?
That looks like the HyperX Quadcast 2F.
Where can I get it nearby?
It's in stock at Best Buy. I'll get you a link.
Sweet. Let's talk about that chair.
Hey, Copilot, what kind of thrust does this thing have?
The Saturn V rocket generated 7.5 million pounds of thrust.
Okay, let's run some simulations on burn time. How do I go there?
That's Rio Secreto. You'd fly into Cancun.
You see my budget. Can I afford it?
Reevaluating hot yoga could free up funds.
Yeah, I'd rather sweat on a beach.
I hate writing about myself. Help me turn my portfolio into a bio.
Maybe we say, inspired by her cat Ziggy, Jenna's work is a contrast of sturdy form and wild colors.
Stop it, Copilot. But keep going.
Hey,
Hey, Copilot.
It works. There are clear evidences that prove that companies are improving their productivity. So my point is simple. AI became corporate because now it is usable and it makes a huge difference. But AI to me is like a new internet. We don't need to be taught how to type a URL or to search in a search engine or to navigate a website. Or we don't need to be told what's a browser. We know that, right? Because nobody today would write in his resume, yes, I can use the web. Why? Because we became internet fluent. It's given. Are we all AI fluent? And if you think about it, it's not so given that everyone is internet fluent or web fluent. Can you think about someone nowadays that is not web fluent? Likely grandparents. Do you want to be the grandparent of the future, not being AI fluent? Probably not. And that is why it is worth it to talk about AI fluency. But it's not a skill. It's a language. It's a way of interacting. It's a matter of culture. And that is why we're talking humans before AI. The truth is that today there are so many AIs and AI evolves so fast that it's very difficult to keep up, especially when we work, when we have a corporate job. We work 9 to 5 or even longer. And what happens is that we are stuck in our laptop. How do we manage to follow all these news coming from different feeds, from different people? It's overwhelming and we can't learn. So the truth is that we struggle to distinguish one large language model to another. Somebody has tried Copilot, somebody doesn't even know we have Copilot. Then there is Claude. Now Claude is integrated as long as ChatGPT within Copilot. But what does all of this mean? If we can't follow, there is no way we can't lead. That's why I believe that the foundations of an AI fluency model must be understanding the context. Therefore, we need to bring awareness to our workforce. This is the first, foremost, most important thing. Now, AI is smart, but as smart as our human intelligence. You know, we need to talk to this AI. To me, AI is like a black box in between an input and output. And you know what? In and out, they are human. Input to me is made by three components: context, methodology, and alignment. Context is representing the information about us. AI doesn't have all the information about our specific case. Therefore, we are seeding them, right? My case study, my presentation, my Excel spreadsheet, my data. Methodology, we giving AI guardrails to follow so we can guide and improve the quality of the output, making it forecastable in a way. We can make a provision about it. And alignment, we need to give AI an evaluation criteria. We need to tell AI how we're going to judge its output. It's more or less an evaluation criteria. AI doesn't know what's right, what's wrong, what's the best for us. Because if you ask AI what is the best restaurant to go out tonight in Milan, what does the best mean? Design for me an effective presentation. All right, but effective for whom? What does it even mean? We need to define clearly what we expect and how we're going to judge the output from AI. So we need to do all of this, and we need to give it to AI in the AI language, because this improves the output. So prompting. But do we really need to become prompt engineers? I don't think we need to learn all these prompt formulas here and there. And so the question comes natural, and I'm asking you, what's the best prompt formula? In my opinion, being web fluent, we learn that every time we don't know something, we ask Google, we search on Google. Do you know this thing? I would answer, I don't, but have you searched on Google before asking? So nowadays, I think it's given that we ask AI, we don't know something. And this is exactly what we did. We asked all the main large language models, ChatGPT, Claude, what is the best prompting structure to improve the quality of the output? And you know what? We have then analyzed all those structures horizontally. And what we have discovered is that many components are recurring. The one from ChatGPT, in my opinion, represents in a very efficient way all the key components of a powerful prompt. So this is why we created a prompting template from MLC. And this is something that I'm going to share with you at the end of this presentation. So stay connected, you're going to get it. The way we approach AI, therefore, becomes important. We know that there is an input, we know there is an output, we know that there is a prompting, and we describe the input, but what about the output? The output, in one word, is unreliable. How come? Yes, it is unreliable. Therefore, guys, copy-paste is prohibited. I remember once I was interviewed with, when my latest book came out from a national newspaper. I was requested to write an article about data storytelling. While I was making a point, I wanted to make it really bold. So what I did, I searched for some evidences. I asked my Copilot to look for some evidences about some scientific evidences about that point. And Copilot came out with 3 articles. And one of them was quite interesting because it was an HBR article, Harvard Business Review. It was so perfect that I thought I should go and read it. So I looked for the article on Google, but I couldn't find it. Then I went back to Copilot and said, look, I can't find it. Please send me the link. The answer was something like, oh, sorry, I just made it up. It doesn't exist. Like, what? It doesn't exist. I was about to go public on a national newspaper with an invented reference. So be able to discern. Do not trust AI. We need to use it. We need to use it, and we need to understand that it's an iterative conversation with these tools, but we can't trust AI all the time. So it is important to discern and iterate. That is why we need to develop a certain approach when we talk about AI fluency. An approach made by methodologies, made by tools that summarize and share experience in a formal way. But at the end of the day, we don't need a complex jargon or technically understand how these large language models are built. Yeah, we need to know the main principles. But at the end of the day, what we need to do is we need to drive them, right? And that is why, for example, when we do business, we create custom applications for the workforce so that they can experience first person what we mean. This could be, for example, applying it to marketing for customer analysis or sentiment analysis, coming up with new ideas, understanding the customers, anticipating market research. Could be empowering the sales force for creating storytelling, turning their presentations into stories. It could be reinterpreting data in a way that conquer people, really. So I think that once we lay down the awareness and the approach, the next step is bring it to practice and make people practice, experience it, because this is the way people are going to learn and share. Yes, share, because you know what? Nobody knows your work better than you. And that is why I believe that it is important to create the first Tinder in a way, but then it's up to people inside the organization to spread this knowledge, to produce and organize this knowledge. That is why the latest but not last layer of this pyramid, in my opinion, is called advocacy. We need to have advocates, AI advocates, because people who are getting used and going through this pyramid then are going to decline what they learned, how to use AI, specifically to their businesses. And what happens afterwards is that everyone is going to make a personal custom use, declining it to everyday's processes and jobs. And therefore, they need to share these use cases. Because this is the way we're going to trigger a snowball cultural effect in your organization. And this is the way AI is going to spread. So the AI Fluency Framework from MLC is a way to make change happen, making people the center of this revolution. Because it's not a technological revolution. It's a cultural, human, new way of doing things. I'm going to conclude my presentation introducing myself. My name is Maurizio Lacava. I'm the co-founder, CEO of MLC Presentation Design. We design stories, create presentations, and empower corporates to better communicate more effectively with these presentations. We publish our own methodologies, and we have created an award-winning MLC PowerPoint Add, which won 2024 and 2025 for the best usability as PowerPoint Add. We work with many companies, and if you guys want to look at us, well, this is my team, proudly sharing it with you. Keep in touch. This is my LinkedIn profile. Feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk to you and learn more about how you like this presentation. I'm going to share the resources as I promised. You can scan this QR code and get access to the resources. Guys, thank you very much for joining the presentation today. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Be lean, tell a story. Ciao.